think it's harder for do you think, I guess, is more rare? I mean, one, just because the way it works, you know what I'm saying? Like, in order to have rich people, you have to have poor people, obviously. So there can only be so many rich people, right? So there's that. But do you think also with that, because a lot of times that first generation rich person, such as a LeBron or such as a, let's say, Jeff Bezos, you know what I mean, in the business world, a lot of times, like we said on a previous episode, they know what they had to do to obtain that wealth and to obtain that success. Do you think that maybe why we don't see as much follow up with the next generations of people like that is because they obviously didn't have that struggle coming up, because that the person before them already made it easy, so they don't even naturally have that hustle to want to continue that? Do you think that maybe that's part of the problem, or where do you see, like, maybe why some what we say fumble the bag, you know what I mean, where it's like,
I think,
obviously, you know what I mean, like there's this whole setup and
I,
the next
I think,
generation doesn't follow through? Where do you think
I
that comes
think,
from?
I think within our culture as African Americans, a lot of us come from middle class or poverty stricken situations. And then once we become a millionaire or wealthy, we do kind of over protect our children or over coddle or over baby them instead of like putting that expectation on them. Like, I was just a starter. It doesn't stop with me. This is on you. Like, you have to damn near what the Bible say, train a child in the way that it should go. Like, you have to put that responsibility on your children early. Like, your job is to take this thing to the next generation, take it even further than me. It doesn't stop with me. This is a
There we
family
go.
thing. And I also think you have to make it family oriented. Let your children come to work with you. Let them see what you do. Let your wife see what you do. You have to make it a family thing if you want it to be a family thing. I'm not saying they have to actually work for you, but when they become of age, why wouldn't they work for you? If that's what you want them to do, eventually take over your business. Why wouldn't you be having them already knowing the shit like the back of their hand by the time
Right.
they're
I
16?
mean, the fourth richest man in the world. You brought them up earlier. And that was another one generation situation. I really struggle with pronouncing my man's name, but the dude who owns the LVMH conglomerate that bought Tiffany and all of those other things, like his well, all of his children work in the organization, all of them. So
Yeah, I
like
guess
that.
I guess I'm saying, like, how can it be a generational dynasty if the family don't buy in? Like,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's
The
kind
only
of
way
where
that works.
I'm getting
The,
to, I guess, is like, how do you, how would y'all go about trying to get your people to buy in?
well,
motherfucker, you don't have no choice but to buy in. And if
I
you
was gonna
don't buy
say
in,
I was gonna say it's pretty easy. It's from. Let me rephrase that. You not having this conversation in advance. You're not sitting down talking about, yo, man, we about to build a trust. That's not the conversation. The conversation about a trust is, yo, we figured out some shit that really, really, really worked. And now there's some things that change the way we function. So we have to put different things in place. So the buy-in comes from the situation working, not talking about what we're gonna do.
right.
So that's what I asked earlier. Then, so you do think
Jeff
it's results
Bezos
based?
isn't
Then you would argue it is results based. Then there is no
there
buy in
is
before the thing happens.
there is no dynasty to be worried about maintaining. I can't go argue with y'all about preserving a dynasty that I haven't built yet.
Right.
Right,
See,
but
Flaw's
this is a
talking.
two part though. There's the
See,
creating
but
of the
you're
dynasty
talking
and the
about
maintaining of it.
building. And I
You're talking
believe
about who it gets handed to.
I think he's talking about building it. And the thing that I'm
Yeah,
saying is I don't necessarily know if your family, finger quotes, has to buy into the building part of it
No, they
because
don't. That's what I'm saying.
because it could just take one person and whoever his business people are to build it, but the family does, or the people that you're going to pass it down to definitely has to buy into the preservation and the growth of it. It's no different than how I hate to see black people fuck up real estate, where grandma spent 80 years buying this house and she passed it to you and you just fucked the house up when you could have just been passing these houses on along family generation lines. You know,
That's what I'm saying.
imagine
That's
if
that's the difference. And here's the thing. I'm gonna go a step further. We passing down 50,000 hole in the wall cribs. But on the flip side, they're holding on to acres and acres and acres of valuable real estate that they're passing
yeah.
down and turning the next
Well,
generation into
well,
millionaires instantly upon
well,
death.
you're
Upon
gonna
death.
make me get a little slightly off topic. And that's why I feel like the whole system is kind of skewed and so messed up because if you go and you actually research history, it was so many things that were done to African Americans to not allow them to own land and to not allow them to own property. And I'm talking about in the 20s, 30s, and 40s.
Yeah, of
Imagine
course.
if imagine if great great grandma Griffin or great great granddaddy uh Graham was allowed to own that 6 acres of land in certain places and pass it down. Look at that black family in California where they stole their land and the state of California had to give it back. A beachfront property that's worth tens of millions of dollars. Like, man, it's a lot of jacked up stuff that happened to where the wealth gap is so huge for a reason. Dog, I saw an article where, and sorry for the misquoting and for getting the information, but I think it might have been New York City. It was somewhere in the 50s where they were doing this program that they were giving first time home buyers like zero down on the housing, damn near zero interest rate. And the developer said the only rule is don't sell to nobody black.
Doc was talking about that actually when he came on. Shout out Doc.
This was in the 50s, bro.
Yeah, I mean they stole
In New York
Central,
City.
Central Park. They stole Central Park in New York. Central Park was black.
See,
I didn't know that.
all I'm saying is this stuff
Central
like that,
Park,
man.
I believe it was a black owned village.
I didn't know
It was a
that.
black
And that's
Wow.
all I'm saying is like, I all I'm saying is I'm not making excuses because as a people and as a minority, we gotta keep resolve and we gotta get back focused on community. I feel like as a people, we're not community focused no more, and we don't galvanize with each other as much as we should, and we outsource to other races. And that's just flat out, man. You can't be no. I'm gonna put some shit out there. You can't have a dynasty if you don't own shit.